So, like, I was watching Thor, good movie, 300 million. I think last time I saw it, might be somewhere more now.
The box office?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's on track to make a lot of money. I think it was like the 11th biggest opening weekend for Marvel movies. So that's
I have no idea.
not top 10, but that's not bad, man.
Not top 10. It's right there, though.
It's right there. So what was you thinking about Thor?
I turned my brain off to watch it.
You have to, don't you? Though. I mean, it's kind of silly. I mean,
most people who I think didn't like it just watched it and were expecting everything that they didn't get. But I think that's what's been happening since like No Way Home, because they got Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and all the old villains, and that's exactly what they wanted. So Multiverse of Madness, they wanted Tom Cruise and Ghost Rider and all these people, and they didn't get it, so they didn't like it. And then in this movie, I think they wanted Hercules to show up or Beta Ray Bill, and Hercules does show up at the end. Spoiler alert.
I did want Beta Ray. I'm not gonna
and
lie,
they're
Beta
mad
Ray.
that he didn't.
Well, it's okay. I mean, like, look, I discovered a couple movies back that Marvel probably going downhill, but they still can make spectacular movies, and they're making movies for two different people right now, and it's weird because they're making movies for the general audience gore. Because
gore,
huh?
Gore.
What do you mean gore?
That's what you just said.
No, I said they're making movies for the general audience goer.
Oh, I thought
So,
you said gore.
No,
we'll roll it back. Roll it back.
Gore.
Anyway, so like they're making movies for the general audience, and they're also making movies for the diehard fans. And I think I just think they have problems with it.
Well, I have a really bad sense of humor. Like, it's stupid. And this movie I thought was hilarious, and I know a lot of people didn't. A lot of the jokes, they'd say it, and it didn't land for me.
Well, as what
But I know when Mom didn't like it, and it wasn't her type of humor.
Well, what I thought about the movie was like this. Taika Waititi, he's got his own style, and it was a good movie. I liked it. I mean, was it everything I wanted? No. Did it have a few silly little potholes? Yes. It was a good movie, though. I liked it. I mean, especially, like, killing gods. Like, let's face it, we all want to kill the gods.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I wish they would have done... I wish the movie was longer, and
He was scary. He was scary, man.
I think they didn't because of scheduling conflicts. He almost wasn't gore at all.
Kristen Bell was, like, scary, like...
He was the best part of every single scene.
I heard he, like, even scared the children. Like, legitly. Of course, there's no truth. Like, they made a story saying he scared the children. There's no real way to tell if he scared them. He's a scary person, and he's a character actor. So, like, he gets into his roles more than other people. Yeah. So
I don't think anybody could have done the role of Gore or as close to as good as he did. Because you saw him on the screen, and he'd, like, emerge from the shadows. Like, you'd see where he's at. Creepy. But his face would show, and he had the teeth and the orange eyes. He looked creepy.
Did you notice that he rode the hammer? I mean, he actually rode his axe.
Yeah, it's what he does in the comics.
He rode
sword.
It. But when you
or do you mean Thor's axe?
Yeah, Thor's axe. He rode it. Like, Thor rode the axe at the beginning of the movie. Like, and that was a callback joke from the last Thor movie.
I don't get what you're trying to say.
All right, so when Taika Waititi...
just say what you mean by ride the axe.
He was, like, riding it like a broom.
Oh.
Like, it was flying.
At what point?
At the very beginning of the movie.
I think I missed that.
You missed that? That was hilarious. So, like, yeah, he's about to get going in there, and he just hops on the hammer.
Oh,
and the joke is the callback from the first movie. When he's like, you ride your hammer.
I remember that.
So it was a callback
because it said the beginning. I put it away.
So it was a callback, and the owls and the music, it was hilarious. Like, the fact is, he said it's going to be more 80s opera, and it's like, yeah. Okay, you say that, but what do you mean by that?
I think he means...
He means that one scene in this movie that was just like...
No, he means...
That's 80s. That's an 80s, like, when people think of... The 80s is famous for, like, all these really, really bad space movies trying to capitalize on Star Wars.
Yeah. And
they used... some of them had heavy metal music. The movie Heavy Metal. I mean, like, so... There is an actual genre of movies that's, like... heavy metal music... and crazy sci-fi spectaculars. And owl people with Thor fighting them. That's pretty heavy. That's pretty 80s metal.
No.
So like I like that aspect. To call the whole movie that, not really.
You mean the entire soundtrack or like song collection of Guns N' Roses doesn't make it 80s metal, the whole movie?
No, it does not.
There was a lot of Guns N' Roses.
It's a lot of Guns N' Roses.
They're all good songs.
But, you know, I wonder how much the copyright stuff like that costs.
I wonder if they just have a fee, like you pay this to use our music. There's not like a specific song, and he said, "All right, just use all
Well, you know,
of them."
because movies usually charge, like small budget movies can't get good songs. It's only the bigger budget movies. So I wonder how much they paid. Disney paid a pretty penny for that.
Yeah, they paid. I think it was like $5 million or $2 million or something like that for "Immigrant Song" in
Jesus Christ.
Thor Ragnarok. So that's the only song.
That's a lot of money.
And then in this one, if you listen, there's a song that sounds like it sampled just the like one guitar loop or riff from "Immigrant Song," and it plays like right when they show up and start to fight, and then it changes into the piece that Michael Giacchino did. I can't say his name.
So underrated.
He's such a good. I think he's getting more credit though. I still can't say his name though, no matter what.
Michael Giacchino.
If that's how you say it.
No, Michael. He's the guy that made Rogue One, right?
Gustapio.
It's Michael. Now I'm gonna feel bad, but it's Michael.
You won't be able to say it.
Yeah, I can't say it. I can't say it.
Gianolfi.
Michael Giacchino. I'm not Italian. I don't know. It doesn't roll off. I'm an idiot. I can't say. But like, yeah, he makes great music, and like one of the things he does with his music is,
Batman.
Well,
Doctor Strange.
Well, he just
The Incredibles.
With his music, he can take somebody else's music, like John Williams, and take his elements, add to them, and
he doesn't make them
really
the same. He makes them familiar.
He makes them familiar, but that's where his genius is. And if I'm not mistaken, he's Star Trek. He rebooted Star Trek. So like, and if you watch the first Star Trek movie, it's got some horns in it that just like, you know, a lot of people don't
Everything he does has a lot of horns.
A lot of people don't like the new Star Trek movies. They are what they are, but like the soundtrack was epic to it, and that's a guy's name I can't remember. Michael, we're gonna remember that. Like,
no,
I'm gonna take a shower, and I'm gonna be like, that's how I say his name.
I can spell it, but I can't say it.
Well, there's that one YouTube guy that makes wins about a lot of movies. He loves that guy, Michael Giacchino.
Maybe.
No, that's how
Maybe.
it is. Michael Giacchino.
I can't prove it.
I can. Giacchino. Michael
That's
Giacchino.
not proof. That's just you saying I'm right. I'm right.
Well, yeah, that is me just saying I'm right, but we'll figure it out one day.
One day.
But so, back on topic, you know, the Thor movie, it was really good. Jane, everybody got so mad about Jane because like they're gonna be like, and I was kind of mad about it. I did not want Thor to be stupidly overshadowed in this movie. A lot of people, I'm just saying, out in the YouTubes, there was a lot of people like, oh, Jane's gonna out hero him in his own movie, and I was worried that might happen. But then I watched the movie; it didn't happen. She had her own arc. It was cool. It's a little weird, silly, like the hammer was killing her at the same time, because he did tell the hammer to protect her. So it was a little weird that her using the hammer was killing her. But I didn't, like I said, I turned my brain off. I don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're wanting to enjoy Marvel movies, I think from this point on, let's just take our brains off.
I think
take the thinking cap, set to the side.
Well, the thinking cap's on.
Don't. You're going to ruin it. If you think about it, you won't like it.
The hammer heals her. Well, it makes her mighty Thor, but her body's still dying?
Yes.
So when she drops it, her cancer's just where it should be.
But then...
That's how I would see it.
That's how I was seeing it too, but then he made a point. He said a line, and I've only seen the movie once, so I haven't seen it like 2 million times yet. But the point in that movie was that her using the hammer was making her body weaker because of the power it took to wield them.
But wasn't it just Thor saying that? Did we ever actually show that's what it was?
Sometimes you just have to go off of what character's dialogue is.
It was
for
Thor.
Exposition. I liked it. You know, the big plot hole was, why didn't Thor use this. Like, if he knew about eternity and the wish that eternity was going to grant you, why did he not go after that to fight Thanos? That was the silly part. Because if you look at...
Because the Russo brothers didn't think of it.
Well, because if you look at the Multiverse of Madness, the Book of Ashanti, our Doctor Strange didn't know that that was a real book.
He thought it was fake.
He thought it was just a rumor, so that makes sense as to why he didn't go searching for it. Okay, now why he didn't use the time stone, well, don't even want to talk about that. However, when you look at the Book of Ashanti, they added a new mystical thing that could accomplish killing Thanos, and they addressed it that this universe did it. Ours didn't, because our Thor didn't know it was real.
Our Doctor Strange.
Yeah, our Doctor Strange didn't know it was real. So that line of thinking is just, we needed a little bit of that in this movie. Like, don't let Thor know that the eternity is at the center of the universe that'll grant you a wish to the first person that gets there. No. And then don't give him the ability to get there. Because he's had that ability for 5 years.
It shouldn't have been as easy as... But maybe he didn't know. Like, maybe he didn't think about it. He didn't have Stormbreaker that long.
He had Stormbreaker for 5 years.
And maybe he knew...
Even when, like, they got the whole gang back together, he could have been like, you know what, guys? The universe can grant us a wish. We should just go do that. It'd be a lot easier than time travel.
Maybe there was limits. Well, I guess he did bring
somebody
back. Well,
no, it's just bad writing. It's like, hey, we thought of this now.
Bad writing.
It's all it is. It's just, hey, we thought of this now. And instead of giving us, like, one line of dialogue to explain why we didn't do it like they did in the Multiverse of Madness, it was like, oops, Thor should not have known about eternity. That's the only thing that would have solved it right there. Just don't let Thor know about it. Let Zeus be the one that told him.
I think Taika Waititi just goes based on, like...
And that's cool.
He's making this movie and he doesn't think about anything else in the universe.
And that's not cool when you've got a connected universe. I mean, like, he made a good movie. I don't think the movie is bad, but if we're going to be like...
I feel like he had a lot more freedom, and that's why...
And I like that, but you just need somebody to be like, you know... I'm not a smart person, so it's like...
They can just hire us and we'll watch and say,
this
is weird.
I'm not a smart person. I'm not. So, like, if I can think of this solution, like, you guys are millionaires. You guys write stories. I mean, is there not one person that's like, hey, look, you know, if he knew about this, why didn't he, like, nobody's there to ask that question? And then what scares me is if somebody did ask that question and they said, no, don't worry about it, it's like, well, you're a bad storyteller.
They would, though.
They probably would. I do like a lot of
people are just afraid to speak up.
People are. I've got Facebook, and on my Facebook I got the news feed.
Yeah, Facebook.
I do, but
what?
Like, I got a news feed, and on my news feed it showed Taika Waititi. The fans are mad at him for his latest thing, and I'm like, oh god! And I knew it was clickbait, not to click it, but I did anyways because I'm an idiot. And what I noticed was he just said he doesn't like to do like a 4-hour release, like a director's cut, the definitive director's cut, because like. It's just every idea that you can think of being in a movie and are not usually good.
I'd make a good director's cut.
No, you wouldn't. Like, I mean, sometimes, I mean, like...
I feel like sometimes it helps when it's just what you wanted compared to what the studio cut.
Well...
But when it's just all the ideas you had...
Kingdom of Heaven, okay? A movie that came out in, like, 2005, Ridley Scott, a huge epic movie, okay? Studio cut hours out of it. He, you know, and it made the movie like if he was a general audience goer, kind of like you missed some things. So he had to. So when he eventually got permission, he did a director's cut to fill in the gaps that got cut out. That's a little bit different than.
Isn't that what Lord of the Rings did too?
Lord of the Rings did something.
Like they released it like 2 hours and they're like 5 hours long each or 4 hours.
No, I've seen the director's cuts. They're longer. They explain more and.
That's all I've watched. I haven't even watched the regular. I've only watched the extended cut.
I think the regulars have a better flow, and for the average moviegoer, it's perfect. Like, maybe the biggest nerd of Lord of the Rings wants to watch the director's cuts.
Everybody I've talked to says just watch those. And I've never even tried to watch the other ones.
Yeah, but, like, here's the deal. If you're the average moviegoer that's just wanting to see an epic movie, the regular cuts, the theatrical cuts, go with that. The director's cuts give you more, like, you need to read the books, you need to know a little bit more because that fills it in for you. You know, it's like, people will be like,
I just watched it.
"That's the thing. I know that thing.
That's
you know,
the thing.
that's the thing I know.
Yeah,
you know,
remember
that was in the book."
Remember the
So like, I think certain situations, director's cuts might work if the studio had to cut a lot,
but not everything.
but not every time. Like, nobody needs to see a director's cut of Avatar. I've seen it. It wasn't. I think it made the movie worse. Like, I watched
That movie has the most basic plot, though.
Yeah, well,
It's just Pocahontas.
First off,
Pocahontas.
First off, Pocahontas has a great plot.
And that's what it is. It's just
and we can
Pocahontas.
redo this over and over and over because we like money, and we're gonna do it in space.
What if we made them blue this time?
No, we can do it in space. We can, and next time we're gonna do it underwater. Don't forget Pocahontas in the center of the universe.
Oh.
You know, I mean, we can really milk
It's
this.
like that Lion movie that played, like the trailer played before Thor. It had Idris Elba, and it's just African Cujo with the lion.
yeah. I remember that. I can't remember the name
I
of
just
that.
kept going Cujo
But
2.
like I saw that,
The
it's
lion
like
sleeps tonight.
yeah, it's just a family, and I don't even know the name of that movie, but it's just a family and a lion's
The Beast.
attacking them.
I think it was the Beast.
The Beast. And a lion's attacking them,
Cujo
and chasing
2.
them. Cujo 2.
The lion.
The lion
sleeps
sleeps
tonight.
tonight. And
They should just let me name stuff from now on.
yeah, well, you know, you might be the definitive namer of
Morbius
things.
2. More fast. Morbius.
No. You've already failed. I've already fired you.
I would watch it.
No, dude, I've already fired you.
That'd be my selling point. They just have to make the movie self-aware.
Don't think you could. I don't think you have a bright future in this, kid. Well, speaking of things that don't have a bright future, dude, did you watch the new Kenobi season?
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
It was fun to see them back, and Darth Vader was cool at parts, but like, it was alright.
Yeah, that's about the. You know, I hated it, and then I kept. I did. I hated it, and I kept watching polls of like Star Wars channels, and it's like.
And you always put 1 star.
Well, no, it's like everybody was always liking it. It's like one episode got like, I think it was the episode where Reva stabbed the Grand Inquisitor. Was that the second episode?
Yeah.
So that episode got like absolutely trashed, but like everybody else liked the other episodes. And my dad, he watched it with his
I
girlfriend.
think people hated episode 4 or 5, whichever one they were at the Inquisitor base. I think it's 5.
Oh God! First off, I didn't know he was watching a comedy because
Them sneaking
like
out.
the
in the
sneaking
code.
out was the it's like really guys.
How did
like no. It's like
How did they not see
No.
extra legs out of the coat with the lump
No.
when they're on high alert?
No. It's worse than that. It's like, how did the people filming that scene not just look at the director and be like, this is Star Wars, dude. We're not a sketch show. This is Star Wars. We're not a sketch show. That is a sketch show thing, and I just think, you know, first off, most people were just member buried on that. I like to say that a lot because it's true.
Remember
Vader.
the Force?
Yeah, remember the Force? Remember Obi-Wan? Remember the thing there? Hello there. You know, I mean, like, everybody remembers, and they want this, and, like, Disney's like, okay, we're going to feed it to you. You know, a lot of people don't like the politics of the show. Maybe there's a lot of bad politics of it.
I didn't think that was really politics.
I just think that with Star Wars, Disney's going to milk this cow for every dime they can. And, you know, I think the average person that likes Star Wars is going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not deep into the lore, you're cool with it.
Well, most people, like the general audience, didn't like the sequels.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot
Or
of
Boba Fett. People didn't like Boba Fett.
Boba Fett was bad writing, you know.
He's supposed to be a cool crime lord, and he wasn't cool. He wasn't
Or
a crime lord.
I mean, like, he just sat there and, like, you know, just made stupid decisions, didn't fight, wasn't cool. And, you know, I tell you, I think Obi-Wan was a bad show. And Ian McGregor, man, the joy, like, you watch some of the interviews he gave prior to the show to
He was happy
advertise for
about
the
it.
show. He was so happy. He enjoyed,
And the majority of people liked it. So.
and I'm happy that he's happy because, like, I like the fact, because so many actors that get known for one or two things absolutely take it the wrong way and just
Yeah.
hate the fact. You know, a lot of people go up to him and say, "Hello there." You know?
Did you see where they want to put a statue of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi on top of? Is he from Scott? Where's he from?
I think he's England. I mean, he's from England.
It's like Scotland or something.
Okay, I
But
don't
wherever
know.
it's from, they want to put a statue of him on the tallest mountain, so he's on the high ground.
Only
Like that, like it's a huge petition.
I will only be okay with this if he is statue is at least 60 foot tall. I want a big one now, and he has to be like in his robes.
Well, it's gonna be Obi-Wan.
He's got to be in his robes, and he's got to just like, and he has to say,
Yeah.
"I've got the high ground."
Well, I got a question because you brought up the pose. So I was rewatching Revenge of the Sith the other day,
No.
and so when Padme goes to Mustafar to talk to Anakin,
Yeah.
if he wasn't standing at the top of the ship looking down at him like he's just about to ruin his day, do you think she could have like talked him out of it? He's just standing there like it's 3 a.m. and he just threw up and he's next to his mom's bed like, Mom, I threw up.
I mean, Obi-Wan went there to kill him.
Yeah, but like, do you think if he wasn't just standing up there that she could have broke through to him?
Maybe. I mean, like, I think when you look at the movie and you see that, he was going there to kill her, and he was pretty enraged. He had just basically ended the war. He killed all of the...
I ended the war, guys. I killed both sides.
I mean, he really did. He took out the Jedi. He helped take out the Jedi, and then he literally goes to Mustafar, where literally all of the bad guys were. Well, they weren't really the bad guys. They were just the...
Different opinion than the main characters.
Well, no, the Trade Alliance. What were they called?
The Federation.
The Federation was part of that. There was the Federation wasn't the bad guys there. There was thousands of planets that weren't the Federation in there.
I'm thinking.
The
Separatists.
The Separatists, yeah. So the Separatists, he went there and killed all the Separatist leaders, and like
Rest in peace, Newt Gunray.
But like he killed all of them, so he's basically ended the war. Padme shows up, pregnant as ever, and like. His adrenaline, like, I don't know, man. He was crazy, man. He literally...
He didn't have yellow eyes at that point,
He didn't have yellow eyes at that
point.
point.
But he had them before then when he's killing.
But, like, at that point in time, there's no telling. If she had been able to get to him or not, like, if Obi-Wan hadn't have been there, I don't think she would have talked him out of it because, like...
If anyone could have, it was her.
No. And I'll tell you why, because...
Well, everything he did was for her.
Everything he did was for her, but then also he probably realized how powerful the Emperor was. And let's face it, you can't just turn back then.
I don't know if he did. Mace Windu did just kick his butt.
Yeah. Mace Windu got lucky.
Some people say he let him, some people say no.
Yeah, that's like, between people...
We don't know.
That's going to be an argument that people are always going to have, but... I will say he did seem like he was playing it up a little bit. So maybe a little bit of both, and then he got in trouble.
Maybe.
I mean, Mace Windu's a dangerous guy.
He might have been toying with him and got, not as good.
The thing is, Mace Windu, what a lot of people have to realize is people in Star Wars just want to say, just because I'm the strongest, I'm going to win. That's not how fights work.
Yeah, you got to get the high ground.
You get a... Well, I mean, it's just... Yes, the Force helps you a lot, but, like, still got to get lucky.
High ground.
Still got to get the high ground. And
actually, I think that was a trick, too. If you watch, Obi-Wan's duels, even in the Clone Wars, he's the king of the low ground, so I think he wanted the low ground, and he's trying to trick him into going to the high ground.
I personally
think... And he killed him from the low ground.
I personally think it was just...
Or cut him in half.
I do not think we realized how classic that was going to age. Like, I have the high ground. Like,
I can recite that whole speech word for word. I think many people can too, and it's just how it's aged.
Don't underestimate my power.
It's timeless. You were the chosen one.
You're supposed to defeat the Sith, not join them.
Destroy the Sith.
I'll destroy the Sith. Yeah.
See,
not join them. I know
that.
Balance
the Force.
He was like, you could tell. That's one thing.
I feel like he was actually just disappointed in Hayden Christensen because he took the role that turned into Darth Vader.
One of the things, though, when I watch that, though, one of the things that I really feel I watch that, and then I see A New Hope afterwards, and like just the pain in his eyes, that he has, and it comes back to that speech, and I really do. A lot of people liked Obi-Wan, but like I did not like the fact that those two fought each other. I don't think Disney knows how lightsabers work. I don't think they know how the Force
You mean hitting
works.
him like a baseball bat? It's not a lightsaber.
I'm just saying, like,
and it bounces off the stormtroopers.
I'm just saying, like, Disney does not know how the Force works, and they don't know how lightsaber battles work, and it's always going to be a MacGuffin now. And yeah, I know a lot of people argue the Force has always been a MacGuffin. Haven't you seen other movies? It's like, yeah, but the first 3 movies kind of set up what the Force could do, and then you had all Legends canon, and then the prequels where we could actually see the Jedi at their peak, and now...
I don't think that was their peak, but...
Well, right, but it's the peak that we got to see. But when you want to break it down, it's like this. George Lucas understood Star Wars, so he would tell stories in a certain way.
I don't think he understood it. I think he, made it, but...
Well, it's like this.
There.
He had a way he liked to tell stories, and Star Wars, he told his story and
Bad dialogue, great story.
I mean, like, if you look at A New Hope, I think it was genius to go with the droids and follow the path of the droids into meeting Luke instead of just being like, Princess Leia shoots them off onto the planet, and then you don't watch them, then, like, they get captured or something off camera, and you don't know they got captured, and all of a sudden, like, they followed the droids.
Yeah.
It had a really cool feel to it, and Disney doesn't know. They're not trying to do stuff like that. And, like, also, I didn't like all
They should just hire him.
They should just, like, I don't know.
They never will, but
well,
they won't admit that they've messed up.
They won't. And the problem is, like, it's the Game of Thrones problem, man. When you have the guy that created the source material and he's wanting to work with you to get it right, and you just, no. I mean, and you just do whatever you want. And it's clear that everybody that's working on these Star Wars projects has a different goal in mind, a different direction to go in. So it's like, it doesn't at all feel the same. It doesn't all feel like, I don't know. It's like some of them want to go with your nostalgia to get nostalgia bait.
Lifting rocks.
Yeah, and some of them just want to destroy all the old stuff. I mean, it's really Disney's going to make a lot of money off Star Wars. People are always going to watch Star Wars movies. Kids that are little kids are going to love the new Star Wars stuff, and they're probably not going to like the old Star Wars stuff because that's just how generations are. So it's like, if you don't think it's being made for you anymore, it's probably not. And that's okay.
I don't think it was made for me anymore. As soon as I saw Obi-Wan lift like 100 rocks and then have him just go one by one.
Yeah, well, that
was the silliest.
That whole fight, like, was so silly. But like that, Obi-Wan fighting him and beating him as Darth Vader again, just kind of made.
It's because he gave him the high ground. He just put it on top of him.
No.
Like he was just like, who has the high ground now? And then he put it on top of him. So of course he just throws it off him, gets up, and then he throws those rocks at him one by one, and it's just like, what am I watching?
You're watching people that don't know how the Force works. That's exactly what
lifting
you're watching.
rocks. They said it in the Last Jedi. That's the Force.
That's the Force. You feel the little tingly thing? I feel it. Is that the Force? No.
The Force is when you're in the dark and the lights turn on and you feel safe.
That pissed me off. I was like, come on, man. Like, no.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Now the Force could be like explained so much better because.
No, that's the Force.
He explained it so much better.
It's all around us.
It's all around us. It surrounds us. Yeah.
Binds us all around us. All around us.
That was the
Binds
goosebumps.
us.
I keep hearing Yoda tell me how the Force works. I mean, not the way it's.
Size matters not.
That is why you failed. Well.
But one thing I didn't like in that show as well? He never opened his lightsaber up until he's fighting Vader. So that they were building up to him opening his lightsaber.
Yeah, so that's the
thing. Then they just wasted it. Like he didn't even.
But that's the thing. When you're doing these TV shows like that, you're taking something.
Stare down literally.
But like when you're doing these TV shows, first off, Disney does not have good lightsaber battles, but they have all these little stupid situations in every episode that has to build tension for that episode because it is an episode. So every episode has to have a beginning point, a middle point, and an ending. And like,
And you already know how the end's gonna go.
yeah. So
The
like,
beginning will hook in where the last one ended. The middle will be kind of boring, and at the end it'll put something to hook you in for the next episode.
yeah, and
Every episode.
that's that Walking Dead.
That's bad storytelling.
That is that Walking Dead style of TV that I cannot stand.
Walking Dead style.
Yes, I mean they've perfected it more than anybody else. Game of Thrones did it a little bit towards their end, but like, yeah.
The Boys is really good though.
But like, I hate watching an episode that feels like filler just to have a cliffhanger at the end of it.
And
The
Obi-Wan
timing-
was 6 episodes limited series. There should not have been a single filler episode.
No.
And there were like 2 or 3.
honestly, because I mean, and also one of the biggest things is I do not like the fact that Leia was in this featured at all.
It was just the Mandalorian.
I mean, they
With
wanted a cute
Obi-Wan and
kid.
Leia.
They wanted a cute kid, and I'm not saying the kid did a bad job acting.
It wasn't her.
She was really cool, but like, I just think that the implications of her and Obi-Wan just run so much deeper when you think about the fact is Reva tied Senator Organa to Obi-Wan, a Jedi, and a Jedi they wanted, and like that connection, they made it. They know it. The Inquisitor knows. The Grand Inquisitor knows that, and yet, so they're just going to leave that be.
Yeah.
Like, nah, they would have killed him. He would have immediately been executed. They would have done something. Like, I mean, they would have hidden his execution or whatnot. It wouldn't have been. But they wouldn't
Well, it's
have.
because he served in the Clone Wars. It wasn't because anything now that they know of.
Yeah, but still, he went to go get it.
That's true.
It was bad storytelling. Like, Disney's not good at storytelling when it comes to Star Wars. They make a heck of a Pixar movie. But, when it's not Pixar, they're not doing good. This is Daniel with Everyday Nerds. If you like the content you just saw, please like and subscribe to us. And don't forget that notification bell. It really helps. This is Daniel with Everyday Nerds.